Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be what's in my camera bag, and I have done a few of these videos before in the past, but I really think that it's good to do them every now and then because I do consistently get asked the question, what camera do I use, what lenses do I use? And instead of searching the abyss of my YouTube channel right now as it is, it's always a good thing to just kind of like refresh and do a new video on this particular topic because things change. Not much has changed with my kit. I'm just going to pre-warn you guys. So if you've already seen my last video on what's in my camera bag, it's pretty much still the same. But like I said, just want to do an updated version of it. My original version of it is probably not the greatest. It wasn't filmed very well for a start, but also it's just not that great to watch. So I thought I'd just improve it a little bit with this video, and I hope you guys enjoy. So we're going to get straight into today's video, and the first thing that I'm going to talk about, and it's one of the reasons why I decided to do a new video, an updated version of what's in my camera bag, is because I actually got a new camera bag. I was actually lucky enough to be sent a camera bag by the company Brevity, and I was really excited to try it out because I had a look online and saw the range of their bags. They looked really cool. So apart from looking nice, they're actually seemingly functional as well, and that's one thing that I've always really struggled to find with camera bags, in particular backpacks. I've always had a lot of sling bags because I just found that they suited me a little bit better. But in receiving this bag, I've been testing it out for the last few weeks and I'm super impressed with it. So I'm going to go over a few of the reasons why I love this bag and why I think it's really, really functional for especially outdoor photographers. Anyone that has to go on location somewhere, it's such a great bag. So this is the bag, and I've just kind of flattened it out. There is an insert that goes down the bottom of the bag. I've just taken it out for this purpose, but it is a really cool roll top bag. So I've selected the roll top, which retails for $185 US online, and you literally just unclip it here and you can roll the top up and then access your gear from this side. There's also another section down the bottom here where you can actually unclip this on the sides. And then you have a zip pocket here for the insert, which I'm going to show you guys now. So this is the insert that fits into the bottom of the bag, and this is where you can store the majority of your camera gear, which is really good. These are all Velcro dividers, so you can move them to however you like, and it's really quite versatile in that sense. So you can actually take all them out and you can use the whole bag as more of a vacation backpack even, which is really great because I do quite a bit of traveling, and I always find that a lot of camera bags these days are not functional in the sense that you don't have enough room for anything else but just your camera gear. And sometimes it's nice to be able to throw some clothes in there, like a jacket, a pair of shoes, and this bag really does have enough room for all of that. And like I said, it's got the insert down the bottom, so if you put some stuff on top, it's easy to get your camera gear out at the same time. So apart from the insert, which I really do find to be quite effective when you're out and about doing photography, it's quite comfortable and very supportive. This pocket is also one of my favorites because there's just so many things that you can put in here. So batteries, memory cards, USBs, hard drives, they can all fit in here. And my actual favorite part of the bag is the fact that there's a 15-inch laptop sleeve in here. So my laptop can come with me and it's going to be secure, and I'm not just going to have it floating around in my bag, which I really don't like doing. So it's really good. I can really have it as an all-in-one bag for traveling especially, which I do love. I think for me, location shoots would be the best purpose for this bag, and I have been using it mainly for location shoots. Sometimes studio if I've got a few things to bring along as well, but sometimes I'll still use my sling for that. The only downfall I'd say with this bag at the moment is the fact that maybe some people might not like the roll top function. They might prefer something else that you can just unzip at the top so you don't have to reach down too far. Like I said, there is an insert that goes in here, so that really does make it a lot easier. But if you'd prefer something more with a zip top, they have plenty of bags on their website that will totally suit your needs. So I highly recommend the brand, and I've found them to be really versatile and great overall. So now that we have the camera bag done, we are going to move on to my lenses. So as you guys probably know already, I use Canon, and my favorite lens of all time is the Canon 85mm f1.2L lens. So it's the L series, and it's just a really beautiful lens. It's really quite slow at times, I find, especially to focus, but I do love it because of the background blur that it does create in a lot of shots, and shooting at f1.2 is not something that I do a lot, but when I do and when I'm after a specific kind of look, it just captures it perfectly. And it's such a beautiful weighty lens. That's sometimes a downfall for some people, but the weight for me I'm quite used to, and I think it makes it feel even more professional, and it's just a beautiful lens overall, one of my favorites that I love to use. The next lens I'm going to talk about is my Canon 50mm f1.8 lens. And I think this lens retails for probably about, I think between $150 and $200 online. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do have links down in the description of where you can buy it from. And this particular lens is not something I use a lot, but it is something I used to use quite a lot before I had my 85 especially, and it's actually quite a decent lens. For the price it is, it's plastic, it feels cheap, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't feel like the greatest lens in the world, but at the same time it does take pretty decent photographs, and it is fairly sharp considering the price. So it is something I still like to use from time to time. I wouldn't say I use it quite regularly, but it's super light as well. So if you're really wanting to bring along some lenses traveling, this is really good for that, because it's actually so light and really easy to carry around. It's small, doesn't take up a lot of space. So I actually do like this lens quite a bit, and not something I use quite regularly, but still good to have in my kit. So you might have just noticed on the video that the lens has changed, because obviously I was using this one to film, so I had to change it for a second. But this is my Canon 24-70mm f2.8L lens. It's actually the older version. There is a newer version out. But I chose to get a secondhand one ages ago, so this lens is quite old now. I've had it for quite a long time, and if you're wondering why there's no lens cap, there's like quite a big dint in it because I did drop it at one stage. But yeah, this is probably the lens I use the most at the moment. The 24-70 is really quite versatile, and I do really enjoy how I can get wide angle shots but also closer up portraits with the same lens. It really just works so well for that, and especially in studio when it's good to just not have to move too much from the same place. I can just use my 24-70 and it does make life a little bit easier. So definitely one of my favorites, probably my most used lens at this time. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is my flash, my Speedlight 430EX2. I don't use this a lot. I don't use flash a lot, but it is something I'm going to be experimenting with more, hopefully in the near future, with maybe some evening shots. A bit more night photography would be really cool, but not something I use really often, but it is a really good flash to have in my kit. As I said, it's not something I use a lot, but definitely it's always good to have a flash in your kit, because there will be times where sometimes the light that you have around you is just not enough, and you do need to have some light that's either bounced off a wall or diffused, or just something to add a little bit extra to a shot. So really good to have in my kit also. This is the first camera I'm going to show you guys that I have, and it's the Canon G7X. So I love this point and shoot camera. It is so good, and it's great for a lot of my vlogging, and a lot of my videos I do film with it. And it's also got a flip screen, which I love. That's why it's so good for vlogging, I think, in this sense. Great for traveling as well. I took this around the world with me earlier in the year, and I found that it did the job just so well with photos and video. And yeah, it's just a really good little camera. I know they've got a newer version out now, which I've linked down below, I believe. But yeah, just such a great camera, and I can't recommend it enough. I've also got my reflector. I actually don't have a white reflector at the moment, which I do need to get onto, but I do have a gold and silver reflector, and these are really cool, especially for location shoots. If it's a cloudy day, I tend to use the gold a little bit more because it tends to add a little bit more warmth to the model's skin tone. And obviously for the opposite, if it's a really bright day, sometimes the silver can help cool it down a little bit. Silver really picks up well in studio as well. I find like it gives the highlights just a little bit more of a pop. So I definitely recommend getting one of these reflectors. You can get so many different ones these days, and yeah, gold and silver is just really handy to have as well as white. I've also got my memory cards, which I've just taken a quick video of here, and there's two 16 gig ones there that I use quite regularly, and my 8 gig. I've also taken to stealing my boyfriend's 16 gig one as well when I often need it, but usually I don't need much more than those cards on a shoot. They are starting to get a little bit older now, which a lot of my gear is getting a little bit older, if you haven't noticed already. So there is going to be a bit of an upgrade eventually in the near future, hopefully, but yeah, generally like to shoot between the two 16 gigs and an 8 gig, because I've always, from my college days, basically learning about this, it's just good to break up a photo shoot among few cards, because if one goes down, one goes missing, one gets destroyed, then at least you've got another 2 cards to work with. And I always found that was a really good thing to remember with wedding photography as well. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is my graphics tablet. And at the moment I've been using the Wacom Art series, and I've used this one for a little while, mainly for traveling. So this one easily fits into my camera backpack, and it's really light, easy to move around with. Even if you don't have a lot of space to work, it's just such a good little size, good little tablet, and I've really enjoyed using it. I do actually have another tablet which I'll show you as well. This next tablet is the one that I use primarily for home, and it's the Wacom Intuos Pro medium-sized tablet. So this is a little bit more expensive and something that my boyfriend got me for Christmas a few years ago now. But this is mainly the one that I use for home because it is a bit bigger, and I do actually prefer working on a bigger tablet. I do like the feel of it and just having that little bit extra room to move. But also I do enjoy using the smaller one for traveling because it's just such a great size. So it's great to not have to cart this around everywhere that I go. And obviously I don't want to get it damaged in any way. So it's good to keep this one at home and have the other one for traveling and going out with. And the next thing I'm going to show you guys is my laptop, and it is the Microsoft Surface Book. And it's a great little laptop. It's, I think, 13.5 inch, and it is a really great piece of equipment. You can detach the screen, which I do love, so it's great for taking my portfolio in for a meeting or going for job applications, that sort of thing. And I can use that instead of my iPad, which is getting a little bit older now, and it is actually just something that I prefer. I think my photos do look good on here. The reason I bought the laptop in the first place was because it is so portable and so easy to take with me. It's quite light. I traveled with it overseas, and the great thing is that you can use the Microsoft Surface Pen to actually draw onto the screen, so you can do retouching directly onto the screen, which is really great. I still prefer to use a graphics tablet most of the time, but I know if I'm not going to be able to bring that with me, then this is always a second option, and that's such a great feature of it. I really enjoy using this laptop. I think the display is great and makes the images really, really pop. So yeah, one of my favorite purchases in recent years. And the last thing I'm going to show you guys today is, of course, my camera. So the most important part of what's in my camera bag, and a lot of you guys might know already, I use the Canon 5D Mark II. So it is a very old camera now. It's nearly, I think, 8 or 9 years old since when I bought it. And there's been 2 more improvements since then, obviously. So I am hoping to upgrade to the 5D Mark IV eventually when I have the cash ready for it. But until then, this does the job really well. It's been such a great camera for me to use over the past 8 or 9 years, and it's really never let me down. So obviously now there's like a few things that are just starting to go wrong with it, but obviously it's just getting on in age and just something that I'm going to need to upgrade eventually. But great camera, highly recommend the 5D series if people are looking to buy a full frame camera and looking to get into it professionally. They're great cameras to have. So obviously as well, you can see why the video has changed, because of course I'm showing you guys the camera now, and I'm actually using my vlog camera to film, so the Canon G7X. So guys, that is what is currently in my camera bag. I am due to upgrade a few of these things, hopefully in the next few months. I'm really hoping for a new camera at some stage, because it is just starting to get that little bit older, a little bit slower now, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting something a bit newer. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. All of the links to every bit of equipment that I've listed here are actually in the description box below. They are all affiliate links, so if you are looking for some new camera equipment, feel free to click on them and help support this channel. As I said, I've listed pretty much everything down below, so you should be able to find it quite easily. So guys, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do. And if you have anything that you're looking at upgrading to in the next few months, feel free to list down in the comments section below, because I'd love to hear what everyone else is looking at bringing into their kit and what they're looking at upgrading to. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!